Right, catching up now with Cam Bray from NZB Standardbreds. Just a little bit of a recap, I suppose, of the wholesale season and the weanling sales. But firstly, Cam, welcome.
Paul, how are you today?
Brisk. It is winter. It is the depths of winter, and it is cold. But we need to keep getting the message out there, I suppose, through the journey about the sales and the results. And firstly, one, you must be wrapped with how everything ended up for the 2025 season.
Perfect. Couldn't be happier. And we're on the right side of the shortest day. So entries are open for the yearling sales are coming in. They close in another 15 odd days. So we hit the road again as of 15 or 16 days time, start looking at them again.
Yeah, well, effectively 1st of August, so Friday week. For people, the entries will close. So that'll come around very, very quickly. And you think, geez, that's early, but the weather starts to really turn end of August. Horses start to grow, and that's when people start to get out there and start looking at them. So, it's a pretty important time of the year. So, do you get a late rush, Cam, or are people reasonably organised? Like, or are they a bit of both?
When we looked at the entries today, the number isn't very high. It's going to take us long to run the national sales based on today's numbers. But they're generally that last week we get a lot come forward. And even once they've closed, we generally find quite a few when we're out and about looking at them too. You get these studs and so-and-so, does he put this horse in? No,
Yeah.
So it is part and parcel of the way it works.
Oh, and looking in fairness to those studs on both sides of the ditch, some of them are very big operations. It's easy to forget ones and twos from time to time. I'm sure you and I forget one or two things every now and then. So it's not a blight on those guys. It's the nature of the beast, I suppose.
Oh yeah, and generally it can just be the fact that the stud thinks they're putting it in, the owner thinks they're putting it in, and it's just a breakdown in communication. It's not difficult to work out, but the process has to start reasonably early because we have to create a catalogue and have it ready for pre-Christmas to be able to go out and promote the sales. So as you say, you literally sell the weanlings. You think, crikey, we've got the winter now to have a couple of months off, and literally within a 6-week period, you're back looking at yearlings. Or weanlings, 2 yearlings.
I was going to say the hardest part is the weanlings that stayed at home. For a lot of those people are the ones that they've got to start cataloguing. So it sort of just keeps going and going. Firstly, just your thoughts, Cam, on the combined weanling sale. It was the first time that it was going to happen. I won't say nervous, but anxious times, I suppose, with quite a few people.
I think there might have been some anxiety there. I don't think from a company perspective there was any anxiety. I think that the fact that we both conduct and have done over however many years now, really even back 3 or 4 years ago, small catalogues on both sides, it made sense to finally put them together. It meant the Wing Standardbreds going back slightly, which I think doesn't hurt them either. And I think you could see there on the day when you have that few more people, a bit more atmosphere. It was really quite a cool, weird event, wasn't it?
Yeah, it definitely was, and probably just needed, maybe 5 more minutes of daylight was about all we really needed, albeit the last horses were sold during the day, but it did get dark quite quickly after the fall of the hammer of the last horse, I must say.
Well, and that's the reality. On the 26th of June, you say you only just passed the shortest day of the year.
Yeah.
And to be fair, it was pretty much dry for the whole time. We take small mercies. As it worked out, because there's a few withdrawals in the thoroughbreds, we did have a sort of a 45-minute gap, which, in a perfect world, we wouldn't have wanted to have that, but you can't help withdrawals, and that's just the way it goes.
And you can't do anything about that, because if they don't withdraw, like you can't say, because every year there's, X amount of withdrawals. It's just the nature of the beast. But you can't plan for that, because you don't want withdrawals. You guys want every horse to go through the sales, as do the people selling the horses, as do the people buying the horses. So you've got to sort of cater for that to actually happen, don't you?
Oh, yeah, and to be fair, we are, it is a dual sale, but we are still selling to 2 different clientele. So you need to have a line in the sand that this is when this sale is going to start. So, we budgeted on that, and that's just the way it works out. We can't help that. But it was a good day. I think the results spoke for themselves. It was a very positive sale for both sales, really. And as I say, it's probably the first time in my career that I've sold standardbreds to thoroughbred people. I've sold a lot of thoroughbreds to standardbred people over the years, trying it out. But it's good to see it come back the other way.
Yeah, it was indeed. We'll put up some of these averages on the weanling. So actually, just firstly, like we talk from a standardbred point of view, the thoroughbred guys, their point of view with having the standardbreds on the same day. What was the feedback from them?
I think I'm reasonably happy, to be fair. I think, again, they're looking for an event just like what we are, and it just added a few more people there. It added a little bit more intrigue. I think quite a few of the vendors and guys that actually bought were a little bit, interested in the fact that they parade these horses. And bits and pieces like that. There was
a lot of head scratching going on from a few people, wasn't there, on the day?
I think even from the standardbred side of things, I think they were almost a little bit blown away by some of the thoroughbred people that did buy the fact that they went and looked at everything. Yep. People put in a lot of work, which is something we don't often see. Just blanket inspections of pretty much every horse on the place. I think that's good too. It showed them a little bit of what they're doing.
Yep, exactly. Right, sale results. Now these are as at the fall of the hammer, so be aware of that. The 26th of June. They have a couple of little slight adjustments, but we can go with these figures. Cam, I think you said there's been a couple more sold, which will put the aggregate up, and also I think you said that would then push the average up as well, just slightly. But overall, we'll look at the first part of it, the 2025. And all indicators are on the right direction, aren't they?
Yeah. Everything's positive. Doesn't matter how you cut and dice it, really. I think the only metric that's probably stagnated was the clearance rate, which, when you think about last year, was actually quite amazing, really, that it was only 85%, because it didn't feel like that at the time. But we've managed to get the clearance up to 90% now. We've had a smaller catalogue, which, is slightly helpful, I suppose. But at the end of the day, we managed to sell, 90% of them. Average up, median up, clearance up. Can't argue with any of those. It's pretty clear and dry that it was a pretty good sale.
Yeah, no. It's quite. I said every indicator is up. Of course, sold only 72. But because there was less catalogued, 86. That's the only worry, and that's an industry worry, Cam. I think both sides of the ditch, breeding numbers are getting less and less, and that's one of the challenges sales companies have now, to be able to create, like you said, an event, which this event was, and to be able to maximise the amount of interest, if you like, people coming along to a day to purchase horses and being part of it. So we can't, 85 horses were offered as compared to last year, 104 and 117 the year before that. So they're big figures, big drop. We're seeing, like you said, I think it's 32 horses less offered in 2 years' time, but still being able to make an event, keep everything else up, the clearance rate up, the average up, the median up, and the gap between the average and the median, Cam, is getting smaller, and that's another positive sign.
Yeah. Hey, look, it is a concern going forward. I think it's a real, you've got to commend Andrew Seabrook's decision to put the two together, because I think there's no way these sales would particularly for the standardbred now, we could run the sale with, if you take a few off that, which that's very likely to happen. It's very difficult to run a sale at Karaka like that for only a handful of horses. The economics don't stack up. So I think it's going to be hitched to that forever and a day now, I would suggest, which I think is not a bad thing either. It's been good. It's worked well. As you said, the numbers have moved, which probably indicates the fact that there was quite a large quantity of the horses were sold, or sold at a sort of a less disparity between top and bottom money, if you know what I mean, which indicates probably the strength of the sale also, but the fact that everything's just worth a little bit more money now, isn't it? Service fees have crept up a little bit as well, so people are still trying to recoup as much of that as they can. Yeah,
exactly. And I've got this slide here. Just be aware the top two are yearlings, but exactly what Cam's saying there. So you got your two yearlings above there, and well done to both Brecon Farms and Tardina Stud, because they presented those like they would be at a yearling sales. They both turned out immaculate. So was the horse from Alabar. They took it seriously. But then you look at the weanlings underneath there, 38, 34, 32, 30, 28, 27. You're going down about 1,000 each one of those horses. And there is a couple that should be added into that since then. There's another Yabby Dam farm horse, Cam. It's quite cool just to look at that, isn't it? I mean, you go down basically $1,000. There's another horse, which is huge for everyone.
Yeah, that's good. And at the end of the day, that group of horses you've put there, they are, they are genuine yearling sale quality horses. The fact of the matter is that the people that are offering them just, are either trying to spread the risk for whatever reason, they're selling out early, or they just don't have the ability to take the number through to the yearling sales. So they're genuine horses for sale.
Yeah.
Always have been a really genuine sale. Even right down to horses offered at probably more modest money. They're there for genuine sale. That's the reality of it. They are very, very good sellers at the sale, and it does help promote a high clearance rate sale.
Yep. Leading purchases. This is one we definitely need to highlight. The pacemakers, shouldn't put the in front of it. They purchased 11 horses on the day. This is the group of thoroughbred guys that are going to be invested in the industry for 12 months, or at least 6 months, I suppose, when you weigh it all up. But they're committed. They've bought 11 horses to Pinhook to put back through the NZB sale in Auckland. I'm going to say the 16th. The date's not quite in front of me. I hope it is the 16th, but the Monday. And they are committed to this sale, Camp.
Yeah, no, they've actually bought another since, so they're up to 12. Spent just short of 150,000. And I think there's one horse as a syndicate horse, but I think for 11 others, they're all individuals, or the individuals that have bought more than one. I think pretty much most of them are single entities.
Yep.
And how it works is basically they're a group of thoroughbred consigners have got together, have sort of made it a little bit of a competition, I suppose you'd say. And there's a little bit of a financial gain on offer, but more importantly, a bit of bragging rights. So they've come to the market and selected, as we said there, 12. They'll take through. They're going to sell them under the Pacemakers name at the yearling sales. So they're all there for genuine sale. They'll be for unreserved sale. Well, as far as I'm aware, they're for unreserved sale come yearling sale time. And the best ROI wins their prize pool. It sort of does work out a little bit like that. But as I say, more importantly, there's quite a bit of bragging rights involved there. I'm actually really, really happy and pleased it's all happened, because I'm in the WhatsApp group with them all, and they're all sending photos of them at home. And, I think they're slightly different sort of mentality horse. I think they're quite enjoying the process, really.
I'm happy, mate, because I keep banging on. We cannot keep talking to ourselves. All of a sudden, we have got, even if it's just 12 individuals, who cares? 12 individual thoroughbred people, which you and I both know that it's not. They're going to be back at that sale on Monday at Karaka. They're going to bring their friends, and who knows what's going to happen outside of that. And then they might be, heaven forbid, they might keep 2 or 3 of them and race them. Wouldn't the sport be better for that, like especially on the North Island?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of positives to it, because I think they're going to prepare them all alongside their thoroughbreds. So the interesting thing is the prep on a thoroughbred starts at about middle of October, November, when majority of our standardbred clients, they might do a little bit of work pre-Christmas, but most of them don't come in until after Christmas. These things are going to be in full prep right up till as I say, they've got their own thoroughbreds will go to market in the sort of second or third week, end of January. So they're going to be prepped nice and early.
Yep, absolutely. The vendors, clearance rates with the vendors was outstanding, I think, as always. As you said there before, Cam, these guys are committed to selling. Macca Lodge, 12 of 12 from Deep South. Yabby Dam Farms ended up being 5 from 6. Alabar, I think you said 26 from 31. Woodlands, was Woodlands ended up 30 from 30, Ken? Or was it stayed at that 29? They did have one withdrawn, I know that.
Stayed at 29 as far as I'm aware, but
the one that was the one that had to be withdrawn is actually sold. I believe that was the case. So technically they have sold 30 of their horses. It had to be withdrawn, though, through veterinary reasons, but someone has actually taken that horse on. So the commitment from these guys is amazing on selling these horses, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the whole idea of originally why Woodlands and Alabar was it still is quite a thing for them. But they were genuinely always there for sale, right? Just had to have people there to buy them. And to see them both get, Woodland's got a top price of 38,000 and Alabar getting 22, with an average, as you say, between 12 and just short of 9, that's good business for them, Macca Lodge too come from the deep south with 12 to get 12 away. Dancing on Moonlight brought 2, sold 2. And when you look there at Yabby Dam Farms, brought 6, sold 5. And the horse that didn't sell will go through the yearling sales, who's, at the end of the day had every right to have a bit of a reserve on him. And, they'll easily obtain that come yearling sale time.
Yep, absolutely. And there's your averages there with your aggregates for those horses, top selling size, and going through. I think the list is pretty comprehensive. You can say, and it was a bit remiss of me if you did want to go back and have a look at these horses. I don't know if I can get back to the home page. I might be able to do that. If I do that, yep, I can do it that way. Basically, anyone wondering, just click onto the past sales lot there, and then you go to that national weanling sale. If you want to see those stats that I was looking at, just go to the news, and then there was a story written on the 26th. You'll be able to see those. Otherwise, just go through the results, go through there, and you'll be able to see them, be able to monitor them as well, Cam, and keep an eye on them as well. It's a great.
As they get named, obviously, as we've talked about before, the name will pop up, and you'll be able to follow them.
Yep.
One thing is going back about size by average. The beauty of it is when you go through that list, you got Bettor's Delight still leads the charge there, but you've got some new season horses coming through there too, which is really, really positive. Ecri D and EL Titan, King of the North, they're all in the top sort of 8 or 10, which is really, really pleasing going forward.
I'm getting to it. Just give me a sec. I've got it right now. Sorry about that. I got out of that, but yeah, you can see there, and the return on investment too. Like, I think some people think they give these horses away. There might be the odd one that gets given away, but when you actually look at their averages, compare that to the stay-in service fees, I think people are in for a bit of a shock. Actually, they still get a nice return there on that, and studs like Woodlands, Alabar, even as you said there, Macca Lodge, Pat Driscoll as well, but Macca Lodge, they're getting a new season sire out into the marketplace. They couldn't have thought of a better way of doing it, so they were able to do that as well. So it's a great way of meeting the market, Cam, if you like, and selling these horses.
Yeah, and ultimately these bigger studs are taking quite a few through to yearling sale time, and the weanling sale is a great opportunity to, possibly put something to market that, mightn't be, in your yearling draft, but you want to get it out into the marketplace. It does come at that value too. So, those horses are certainly not out of their way when you look at their averages for what you're buying. It's fantastic. Gives them a slight return, gives the purchaser the opportunity to get in and get into a new season stallion or just a stallion at a modest value that doesn't attract yearling sale prices. Because obviously one thing we've had also, like we've had an increase in average here. Yearling sale averages have gone, continually to rise, up and up and up. And the reality is that's priced some people out of that market, which are now buying at weanling sale time. So we saw a bit of that, and you wish them the very best of luck with all that.
But it's also a good way, and I keep saying this, for young people to get into the game. And like, look at the thoroughbred guys, they're having a punt. You got 6 months, you can go back through the same sale. The sales company will help you, facilitate you if you're not sure how to do it. Potentially turn $1. It doesn't always work that way. Please don't think you're just going to make money by doing it. But there is that other option in this world, in this industry, where you don't have to win a race, where you might be able to turn $1. Also get a name for yourself, which a lot of people are trying to do out there.
Yeah, it's certainly a viable thing, and it's been happening for a long time. But the sort of pacemaker's job has really sort of shone quite a bit of light on it. And, at the end of the day, you sort of really got to think Andrew Stewart and a few boys sitting around a pub after a horse sale in Sydney to come up with the idea, which probably comes quite naturally to Andrew Stewart, but
which part?
It's been quite a good conversation.
Coming up with ideas or sitting around the pub?
Sitting around the pub, I think. But, yeah, it's a good thing. It added a new element, added some new interest to the sale, added a lot, on top of what is already a pretty good sale.
Yeah, I'm going to catch up with Andrew at some point in time to get a little bit of an update, but also just his thoughts on it. And I think what he does, because he also sponsored the Memorial Day at Addington, I think the same weekend.
He sponsored a race day, yeah. He did,
yeah. And he actually got a winner as well that day. So there was plenty going on. I forgot the gentleman's name who the memorial was named after, but a man that he used to work for. So he had plenty happening there as well. That's it. Yeah. So I do apologise, Andrew. I don't remember a lot of things. I try to, but I don't remember everything. Cam, we said there before, you actually wrong mouse. I was like, why didn't that click? Go to nzbstandardbred.co.nz. One little trick. I keep finding tricks out. This is one that I found, and I think it works on a lot of websites. If you ever want to go back to a homepage, click on the logo. If I go back here to Wheatley Sales, you click on that logo, it takes you back to the homepage. It's a pretty cool one. Most websites do that, Cam. I don't know if you're aware of it or not. The way you're laughing, you might have been.
Yes, I think that's been around for a wee while. But anyway, that might just be me.
Don't worry. I've had plenty of Kiwis learn a lot about your website while I've been doing these seminars. We said there before about the upcoming sales. There is a drop down that will come across there, but there they are there. Of course, I've had the ticker going underneath. But Auckland on the 16th of February, which is a Monday, back to where it all began, if you like. And then the Wednesday at Christchurch on the 18th. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yep. But they obviously parade day in Auckland on the Sunday and then an inspection day on the Tuesday in Christchurch. So people need to be aware of those days. Also, Paul, while you're there, you can see online bidding and then underneath the entry portal. So if you're looking to enter your horse, click on that, get yourself a account, load your horse up, and away we go.
I can't do that. And so now I'm in trouble because now I don't have a thing to go back to it. I tell you what I'll do, I'll jump out of here. Just because when I go full screen, you can't hit the back button. So it does annoy you a little bit, but that's okay. But that's good information for people looking to sell horses. And Cam, just quickly before we do go with the Interdominion on at the minute, plenty of sales graduates. It's quite interesting when you go through and have a look at them. Horses like Bet and Win, 32,500, I think. For that horse, Ribera, 42,000. There was a couple of the others that I did see. Rakiro Rebel was one. I think she was 80,000. Is that correct?
Yeah,
would that be right?
That could be right. Without
think. And so there's been plenty of horses representing NZB at the sales, and a couple of really live chances there with both Ribera and also Bet and Win. Ribera in the Derby, of course, and Bet and Win in the trotting into Dominion. So plenty of interest for the Kiwis on the big stage this weekend.
No, it's good. It's always been a carnival that, certain years we get quite a few goes, some years we don't get as many, but it seems to be quite a good year for it. It's great for the Kennards and Co. They've struck it right with, obviously Ribera and their association with Bet and Win. It's great for David and Stacey, young people, having a red hot crack, which is great. They've got themselves a lovely horse there in Bet and Win, and wish all those connections for all those horses involved this weekend the best of luck.
Yep. I think Phil's another person I better get on before the sale season starts as well, because did a show last night and people with some of their best wins. And if you get about horses like Smolder, Lazarus, we started rattling off all these horses. There's a little horse called Marketplace right at the minute. His body of work, what he's able to choose or buy into and look at. I think he flies under a lot of people's radars of what he's achieving in the industry.
The beauty of what Phil doesn't buy the dearest horses, does a lot of homework. He's obviously got a very good eye that he's been able to sort of fine-tune over the years. And as you say, the success rate's outstanding at the moment,
That's great. I think well done to him and both him and Glennis.
It's definitely a team when it comes to it. Him and Glennis both really, really actively involved and engaged in the whole process. And as I say, he's been doing a long time now, Phil. And so he would be a good person to have a chat to.
Yeah, and his passion is outstanding. So I might even try and get him on one of my live shows and get a bit of interaction. Get people asking him some questions as well, because I think he's a very quiet man behind the scenes. He never voices his opinion outwardly. I know he does behind closed doors, but that's where he keeps it. He's very professional and wants the industry to succeed. He puts a lot of faith in young people, like you said, Dave and Stacey, Regan. Still looks after Mark and Nathan as well. So I think it's pretty awesome. Cam, your information is there on the website. Anyone wants to know, but the best place to go is just nzbstandardbreds.co.nz for information about the weanling sale, past weanling sale, if you want to go through and look at those results for next year, but also the upcoming sales. And when they'll go, the catalogues will slowly trickle out. It'll be a little while, but we'll just keep the message out there for NZB and continue it to go. If anyone has any queries, give you a call.
Give me a call. Phone's always on.
Very good. Thanks very much, mate. Thank you very much for everything over the year.
Thanks, Paul.